I'm Ariana Grande.
Hi, I'm Cynthia Erivo.
And you're listening to the Broadway Podcast Network.
Visit bpm.fm to discover more.
Oh, hello, friends. It's Susan Blackwell
and Laura Camien from The Spark File, where we believe everyone is creative, but smart creatives don't go it alone.
Hey, we've got some exciting news. Doors are officially open for the fall 2026 cohort of The Spark File Blaze, and early bird pricing is available now through June 1st.
Blaze is our transformational group coaching program designed to help you stop sitting on your creative ideas and finally make them real.
So you bring the dream, the book, the business, the podcast, the screenplay, your vision for the next chapter of your life, and we provide the accountability and structure to help you build the momentum and courage to actually follow through.
Inside Blaze, you'll get world-class coaching, powerful curriculum, and a deeply supportive creative community that wants to see you succeed.
And here's a hot tip. This may be the last Blaze cohort we offer for the foreseeable future. What?
So if there's a creative project calling to you, if you've been waiting for the right time, if part of you knows that you are meant to make a bigger creative leap, this is your sign.
Head to thesparkfile.com to learn more and book a free, fun, no pressure discovery call with us. But don't wait too long. Early bird pricing disappears June 1st. Lock in your spot now at the best price available.
We're not kidding, y'all. This course has transformed lives. But don't take our word for it. Here's what some of our clients have to say about it.
I'm incredibly grateful to Laura and Susan for teaching me the tools and structures that I need to get past the fear and to just do it anyway.
I think I've said it a zillion times, but without SparkFile, I would not have a word on a page. You help me so much.
Go to thesparkfile.com to learn more about Blaze and grab that early bird price.
Study and play come together on a Windows 11 PC. And for a limited time, college students get the best of both worlds. Get the Unreal College Deal. Everything you need to study and play with select Windows 11 PCs. Eligible students get a year of Microsoft 365 Premium and a year of Xbox Game Pass Ultimate with a custom color Xbox wireless controller. Learn more at windows.com/student offer. While supplies last. Ends June 30th. Terms at aka.ms/collegepc.
The SparkFile podcast may contain profanity and other adult content.
Please use your discretion.
When I bump into something that inspires me, I dump it in my SparkFile. Could be something that I want to make or how I want to be. I pump it in my SparkFile. I jump into my SparkFile. Let's open up the SparkFile.
Welcome to the Spark File, where we believe that everyone is creative, but smart creative people don't go it alone.
I'm Laura Camien.
And I'm Susan Blackwell. And we are creativity coaches, and we help people clarify and accomplish their creative goals.
You ought to know that just by listening to this podcast, you're joining a warm and wonderful clan of creatives.
Hold up. You may be asking yourself, what exactly is a Spark File?
Well, a Spark File is a place where you consistently collect all of your inspirations and fascinations. Every episode, we're going to reach into our very own Spark Files and exchange some sparks. And from time to time, we're going to talk to some folks who spark us too.
And your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to take some of these sparks of inspiration and make something of your own. So without further ado, let's open up the Spark File.
Hi.
Hi, Laura Camien.
Hi, Suze. How you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm very excited. You're about to spark me with some goodness, and I'm looking forward to it.
I do have a spark, but before I spark you, I just wanted to share something. It was a little feedback that we received from a client.
Oh,
and I loved this feedback so much. And so I just wanted to share it with you.
I cannot wait to hear it. Have I heard it? Is it brand new to me?
It's brand new to you.
Oh, I can't wait.
So listen to me. I'm about to big up the Spark File and me and Laura and the Spark File team. This is some feedback from a client who is relatively new to the Spark File. We have people who have been in the Spark File community for years. She has been in the Spark File for about 6 months. And she said she's not a joiner, but she feels like she's found her people. And in the Spark File, she feels like she's on the inside with the artists in a great way. And she loves the way we put the Spark File together, that we are really kind and full of grace. And our team is kind and full of grace as well. So this is also a shout out to our awesome, awesome team. Go team, go.
Go team, go. Seriously, how lucky. That is the kindest and sweetest. And that means a lot because we have been intentional about things. You know, we don't get everything perfect. We don't get it all right on the first try. We do our best, but we do it all with the best of intentions and kindness at the center. So thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
I'm super psyched about that.
Look at me. Too big for my britches.
Way too big.
I don't care. My Midwestern upbringing is like, how dare you say something like that on your very own podcast?
About yourself? What?
I'm saying it. And I'm standing by it.
I'm proud of you.
We work hard to, create a great environment. And it was so nice to have that mirrored back.
Yeah, that's really, truly, I'm grateful.
Anyway, would you like a spark?
I want a spark.
Are you guys hungry?
Feed me, Susan.
Well, I will, Laura Camien.
So, as I've said before, I feel like this season of the podcast, I have been seeking those sparks that are so close to me that I don't even realize it. And often those sparks are extremely powerful, so much so that they've become a part of my creative life or our creative lives.
Yeah.
But we can miss them because they're not novel to us, but they're awesome.
Ooh, interesting. I like this line of exploration.
I like it too. It's sort of going back to the basics. What are those things that have worked so well that it's a thing? It's like, what's so close to you that you're not even aware of it. So
yeah, it just kind of becomes for common nature. What is that phrase? What?
Human nature?
Second nature?
Second
Why would it be
nature.
second nature?
It's second
I
nature.
question the whole phrase now. Second nature. Why?
Take it up with Merriam-Webster. So to share another spark of this nature, the second nature, I give you time to think, thinking environments, thinking partnerships, and the work of Nancy Kline. Did you just hear Laura gasp?
Because I love it. I love it.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
As you know well, Laura, we are big believers in the work of Nancy Kline, thinking partnerships, thinking environments.
Big things.
Big things. I love thinking partnerships. So much so that they are incorporated into our Spark File courses. In our courses, there's a big buffet of elements you can choose from. It's all on offer. No one is expected to engage with all of it. But one of the elements, one of the options is a monthly thinking partnership with somebody else in the group.
So good. You get to know yourself, as I'm sure you're about to share with us, and you get to know another artist and creative. It's just a gift on a gift.
It's one of those things that I guess this spark is my way of taking you all you listeners, by your metaphorical lapels and just being like, listen to me. You listen to me. I know what's good for you. And it's thinking partnerships. So this whole concept, this whole body of work was introduced to us when we took a business course with Jennifer Rosenfeld.
Mm-hmm.
And in that course, we participated in thinking partnerships with our peers in the course. And that's when I first realized they were magic.
Yeah.
Magic. But what is a thinking partnership? And what are thinking environments? And who the hell is Nancy Kline? Let's back it up, Laura.
Oh, I can't wait.
Nancy Kline is the author of the books Time to Think and More Time to Think, among others. Nancy Kline has spent 30 plus years studying and practicing the conditions that help the mind do its best work and how to create an environment to ignite our best thinking. She posits that the quality of a person's attention determines the quality of other people's thinking. What did you say, Susan? Don't worry, I'll say it again. The quality of a person's attention determines the quality of other people's thinking. Said another way, the quality of listening and attention you bring to a situation has an impact on how well other people can think and process and problem solve. Now, if you're a teacher or a leader or a parent or a creative collaborator or anyone in relationship with anyone else, this is news you can use. So, in her book, Time to Think, Nancy Kline says that over several years, she has come to believe that the most important factor in whether or not someone can think for themselves afresh at any given moment seems to be how they are being treated by the people with them. When someone in your presence is trying to think, much of what you are hearing and seeing is your effect on them.
Whoa.
She says, once we figure that out, we could discover what that thinking enhancing behavior was, we could learn it, and we could teach it. She goes on, we could see that people do not have to have an IQ of 180, an Oxbridge degree, or a sizzling CV to think for themselves with clarity and imagination. They just have to be immersed in 10 things.
Whoa.
When they are, they think beautifully and they act with courage. So Nancy Kline is referring to the 10 components of what make up what she calls a thinking environment. According to Nancy Kline, a thinking environment is a set of conditions under which people can think for themselves and think well together. These conditions make it possible for people's thinking to move further, go faster, plumb insights, banish blocks, and produce brand new, exactly needed ideas in record time. We can provide a thinking environment for each other anywhere at any time. But first, we have to decide to take the leap. We have to be willing to think for ourselves. So, Laura, in my experience, a thinking environment is sort of a co-created space where everyone involved has equal time to process, articulate, and discover. I find, did I mention as I grabbed you by your metaphorical lapels, it's an incredibly powerful means to knowing your own mind and anything that you're rumbling with. But wait a minute, Susan, what are the 10 components that make up a thinking environment, you ask? I'm going to tell you, Laura. I'm going to tell you. Settle down over there.
I just asked it. I did in my mind. I was just asking, what are those 10 things?
And I noticed you were listening to me with this kind of attention. You didn't want to interrupt me.
No.
You are co-creating a good thinking environment by doing so.
I'm trying. Yeah, I'm trying to do my best over here.
You're doing great. So, number one, you're demonstrating this, Laura Camien, attention. Attention is one of the 10 components. Listening with palpable respect, and this is key, without interruption. Even when someone is sitting in silent contemplation for an extended period of time, without interruption. In Nancy Kline's words, that silence is the productive quiet of the busy thinker. And man, is that true? Isn't that beautifully put? Good job, Nancy Kline.
Yes. And think of what you cut off if you interrupt that.
Laura?
Ooh, I'm also feeling very called out right now because when I get excited.
Same.
Oh, no.
I just interrupted you there.
Blanket apology to everyone.
That's right. I'm holding the non-thinky award. I'm like, I want to say, I apologize to my husband. I apologize to Laura Camien. I apologize to all the people I've interrupted to make dumb jokes. Like, I feel like I am the worst at this. The worst.
I think you'd have to fall pretty far to be the worst at this.
I'm pretty bad at it. But this is also what I'm describing here. Creating a thinking environment it's a special space, and you don't need to be living like this all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But it wouldn't be bad to like introduce some of these aspects into your day-to-day life. Just saying. So another component, number 2, equality. treating each other as thinking peers, giving equal turns and attention, keeping agreements and boundaries, equality, balanced conversational turn taking, we sometimes call it.
Yes, indeed.
But it's not just balanced conversational turn taking. It's also nobody's above me, nobody's below me. So whether you're talking to a child or someone who you perceive as having less formal education than you, do you know what I mean? Like these are also places where we can exercise a sense of equality.
100%. Or if you think you already know the answer to the thing that they're working out,
yes,
by all means,
yes,
keep your trap shut. Let the person think it out. Yeah.
Yeah. It's so funny. And now I'm very aware throughout the rest of the recording of this podcast when you and I are like interrupting each other. But that is the nature of a podcast recording. Everybody back the fuck off. Okay.
That's right.
That's right. Number 3, ease, offering freedom from internal rush or urgency. This is a really important feature of a thinking environment where it's like the feeling that I get is we have all the time in the world. Even if we know we're only going to do like 20-minute thinking turns, we have all the time in the world. We have all the time in the world. Number 4, appreciation, offering genuine acknowledgement of a person's qualities and practicing a 5-to-1 ratio of appreciation to criticism. How about that?
Ooh.
A 5-to-1 ratio. So for every one piece of criticism, 5 appreciations.
Wow.
Number 5, encouragement, giving courage to go to the cutting edge of ideas. So like in a thinking environment, it's very gentle. It's very subtle. You don't have to say anything. You don't have to interrupt. It can just be on your face, a sense of encouragement. Number 6, feelings. This one goes out to Laura Camien and all my easy criers. Allowing sufficient emotional release to restore thinking. It's okay to cry, to be angry, to feel your feelings, and then keep thinking. I think you and other easy criers will relate to this. Nancy Kline says, when people are trying to think for themselves, they occasionally might cry or get angry or say they are frightened. Do not stop them. Be with them. Pay respectful attention to them. Hand them a tissue. They will stop sooner rather than later, and then they will think more clearly. Improved thinking and behavior are worth our listening through the feelings, and it does, I promise you, save time.
Oh my God. I just want to say yes and hallelujah and amen to all of that. And on behalf of all the easy criers, like if you are someone who is witness or listening, the active listener to someone who is crying through their thoughts, please hang in. Just hang in there. Because sometimes the impulse is so immediately to be like, oh God, this is the wrong line of questioning or wrong line of conversation if it leads to tears. But in actuality, the tears are just helping to process these feelings as they're coming out, like in real time processing. So please let it flow. And just like you're always so good at this, Susan, it's just like the tears are just there. It's not a big deal. Yes to that. Yes to that.
I also think that if you're doing a thinking partnership or you're in a thinking environment with somebody in person, so you're not over Zoom, but you're actually in person, it's okay to quietly press a wad of clean tissues into their hands.
Yeah.
Like that is not interrupting. It's just letting them sponge up.
Supporting them. Yeah.
Keep crying. Yeah. Giving them the space to keep crying.
Yeah.
Because the clouds get to roll in and then they roll out. And on the other side, that thinker will experience clarity of thought. So yes to that. Number 7, information, supplying information and facts when absolutely necessary. So there may be times when somebody is thinking out loud in a thinking partnership or a thinking environment, and they may have a piece of information that you know is false, and it's sending them down a path. And if it's a fact that you know is false, you can, without interrupting them, when there is like a little caesura
Pause.
in the conversation, you can be like, actually, Debbie didn't call in sick today. Debbie's here. Like, just like a fact. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Number 8, diversity. Welcoming divergent thinking and diverse group identities is a really, really important component. Number 9, incisive questions. There's this whole body of work that Nancy Kline has developed around incisive questions that I absolutely love, that are essentially aimed at incisively removing assumptions that limit our ability to think for ourselves clearly and creatively. And I'll talk a little bit about that. And also number 10, place, creating a physical environment that says back to people, you matter. You matter.
Mm-hmm.
And in case you're thinking, this is too overwhelming, too many components, place, all I have is this rickety rackety apartment and this free Zoom account. I can assure you, if you have one other person who is game to run a little experiment with you, you have everything you need to create a thinking environment and engage in a thinking partnership.
Mm-hmm.
And here is the gag. It is fun. It is so fun. Again, I grab you by your metaphorical lapels. It is so fun because unlike most areas in life, everyone gets a turn to speak without interruption and with respectful attention.
Mm-hmm.
You get to experience your mind at work without restriction or interruption. When else do we get that? When do we ever get that, Laura Camien?
We don't. Unless you intentionally go about it and make it happen. Yeah.
Yes. They're so unique. And it's so funny. I feel like I'm just like, just try it. You're going to love it.
You're going to like it.
Take it or leave it. Listen, take it or leave it. So a thinking session essentially asks the question, how far can you go in your thinking before you need mine? And how much further after that? And how much further after that? But a thinking session can also be a new and demanding experience for the thinker, the person who is sitting and thinking, because it requires the thinker to look inside themselves for answers rather than relying on others' input. A thinking session relies on the truth that the mind that asks the question holds the best answer. The mind that asks the question holds the best answer. So the thinking partner, or the listener, if you could call it the listener, plays a critical role in the process. The thinking mind works best in the presence of a particular kind of attention. It is attention that is neutral, focused, non-judgmental, and supportive. This creates a challenging and rewarding opportunity for the thinking partner to provide this attention and little more than that. A thinking session respects and honors silence. It gives the thinker the space and control over the conversation so their thinking is not interrupted. As Nancy Kline says in Time to Think, you may well feel awkward when the quiet first sets in. You may have been taught that at times like these, you must speak, that you must rescue the person from the apparent mounting embarrassment of having nothing to say. Yet when a person is thinking out loud and suddenly is quiet, but is not stuck, the quiet is alive. Neither the person nor the quiet needs rescuing. They need attention only and more quiet. Soon there will be words again, though. After the quiet, light shine both in the thinker's eyes and in their eloquence. These quiet, busy times are when the least seems to be happening, but the most is happening. I think they are now my favorite moments in listening to people think. Those are Nancy Kline's words.
Wow. Nancy Kline.
This whole body of work that she has devoted her life to is so delicious. And her expression of it, because she has spent years really thinking about it and piecing it together and figuring it out. And in her book, she describes the process, how she, and I assume her team, worked to find some of these things, and some of them took years. Some of these discoveries took years, and now she serves them up to us in her book, and I in turn share them on this podcast. But some of these are very hard won, and they're beautifully articulated. So,
yeah.
So here's how it works in a nutshell. One person is the thinker, and another person is the thinking partner or the listener. There is an agreement that the thinking partner will at no point interrupt the thinker. This gives the thinker control over the silence and recognizes that significant thinking may occur during the silence. As the thinker, you actually have no obligation to speak. You could be as silent as you wish. And I remember when Hunter Bell first started experiencing this in the Spark file, he said, "Oh my God, I sat silent for 20 minutes, 30 minutes. I said almost nothing," which, if you know Hunter Bell, one of my favorite people on the planet, he is a talker.
And this is while he was the thinker?
He was the thinker.
Yes, Hunter.
Isn't that amazing?
Mm-hmm.
So at the beginning of the session, the thinker picks a signal to indicate when they are done thinking. And it could be something as simple as saying, "I'm done." The thinking partner or the listener maintains eye contact and focused, supportive attention throughout. But the thinker does not have to maintain eye contact, which makes sense because, you know, when you think and you sort of like stare off into the middle distance and your brain is working very, very busy. So the thinker has no responsibility to maintain eye contact. The thinking partner asks the question, "Laura, what would you like to think about and what are your thoughts?" And then if Laura's the thinker, Laura thinks, sometimes out loud, sometimes quietly. And when the thinker says, "I'm done," then the thinking partner asks the same question again and again until there are no more answers. And that question is, what more do you think, feel, or want to say? What more do you think, feel, or want to say? So in our world, a thinking session will last 40 to 60 minutes total. And each person will take turns in the role of the thinker and the thinking partner for about 20 to 30 minutes. And we ask people to honor the timing and to not go longer. And you can use this time to think about whatever you want. It does not need to be about a creative project or what you're working on in the Spark file. It can be about any area of your life. This is literally the thinker's time to think. So there are other guidelines for a thinking session, but that's the basic premise. And I'm here to tell you, it's magic. It is magic. Laura, do you have anything you want to say about thinking environments or thinking partnerships or your experience with all this jazz?
I'm thinking. I have been thinking this whole time about how just what a gift this is. I mean, once you have experienced it, I just think you never want to be without it because you do get to know parts of your mind that have been neglected. They've always been there. There are thoughts happening in your brain that would like to reveal themselves, but we often are not quiet enough.
Yeah.
Or, as I'm learning from Nancy Kline, in an environment where it feels safe and welcome. Some of them have to be coaxed out. Some of them come out after a long period of silence. And if we don't have that period of silence where someone is, paying attention and saying, "I'm patiently waiting. I'm right here when that thought is ready to reveal itself," great. They would never have a chance to see the light of day.
They would never have a chance. It's one of those things that it gently loosens our own self-knowledge and allows it to sort of bubble up to the surface. And it takes time. It takes time and quiet.
And I'm sure that this has always been true and is only made more difficult by the enormous amount of time that we are intaking sensory overload of information and other people's content and other people's thoughts. And we fill every gap with those now. in a way that we didn't used to before we had these supercomputers in our pockets.
Yeah.
You could stand in line at the grocery line, and instead of looking at your phone, just be thinking, be drifting off into, another word for it is boredom. And every scientist out there is talking about how we don't even have moments of boredom anymore because we go straight to the phone. So I just think Nancy Kline, A, what a gift, and B, couldn't be more needed in a time than this time.
Absolutely, Laura. Another piece of Nancy Kline's work that I love is her insightful questions. She has developed a whole formula for identifying and surgically removing blocks and assumptions that people may be unconscious of. But here are some incisive questions that I love. What is in my face that I'm not facing?
Oh, goodness gracious. I'm going to write that down.
What is the worst thing that can happen if I face this? What is the worst thing that can happen if I don't? What am I assuming that makes me turn away from this? And here's an amazing, incisive question. What do you already know that you are going to find out in a year?
Susan Blackwell. That makes me think of this. This goes way back in the Sparkfile podcast, but the unthought known.
Yes, I remember.
Yeah, that thing that we know deep, 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 deep down.
This helps you surface and articulate the unthought known so that it is the
known thought.
known. It is the articulated known. And I will tell you, Laura, just researching and writing this podcast by myself, I had some realizations. What is the worst thing that can happen if I face this? And also, what am I assuming that makes me turn away from this? What am I assuming that makes it? I was just like, this work, I feel like, is so insightful. So thank you, Nancy Kline.
Thank you, Nancy Kline.
Another thing I like about this structure is that it always ends with a gratitude exchange. Gratitude for the person that you're thinking with, not the thinking that was done. So, Laura, thank you for listening to me think about thinking partnerships, thinking environments, Nancy Kline, and time to think. I really appreciate your presentness and your listening skills.
Thank you, Susan. Thank you for sharing so much about Nancy Kline and about this work and these incisive questions that are going to really make me go deep. You've given me so much to think about and so much to be grateful for. Thank you.
You're so welcome. So what do we make of it, friends? Nancy Kline has written about how you can use variations on this work to create thinking environments at work, in schools, in government, in groups. The applications of this are profound. I will say, as a creative, I love this for collaborators. I love this for business partners. I love this for solo artists who are trying to figure out what direction your novel's headed or what direction your life is headed. I feel like the applications of this for the humans and for the artists listening to this podcast are so deep and so profound. So my hope is that folks will actually, I know we share a lot of sparks and we're like, and if you're so moved, take something and make something out of it. Actually try this. Actually try this.
Oh my gosh. Give yourself this gift. Try this. Yes.
It is such a unique gift. So that's my spark.
Oh, Susan, I love it. It's beautiful. And it is a gift. This whole spark is a gift. Nancy Kline is a gift. It's the best thing you could do for your brain.
Is there anything else you wanted to think or say about this, Laura?
Oh, gosh. Just the gratitude. That's just what keeps coming up for me. The gratitude and what a difference it can make if you really, really know your own mind.
I guess that's it. This episode of The Spark File was made on the lands of the Lenape and the Mohican people. And as always, we hope this put another bunch of sparks in your file. Listen, if there's a spark you'd like us to explore, or if you'd like to learn more about how you can coach with us to accomplish your creative goals, email us at getcreative@thesparkfile.com, or you can reach us through our website, thesparkfile.com.
We'll even happily take your feedback, friends, but you know the price of admission. First, you got to share a creative risk that you have taken recently.
You can follow us on social at The Spark File, and be sure to subscribe, rate, and 5-star review this podcast. It really, really helps other listeners to find us. Also, if you like this podcast, we hope you'll share it with people that you love. And if you didn't like it, I'll think about that.
Think long and hard about it. If something lights you up and gets your creative sparks flying, we are writing you a forever permission slip to make that thing that's been knocking at your door. It's your turn to take that spark and fan it into a flame.
You know, you got to take it
and make it.
Make it.
When I bump into something that inspires me, I dump it in my spark file. Could be something that I want to make or how I want to be. I pump it in my spark file. I jump into my spark file. Let's open up the spark file.